Presentation of KNED Sports.
Live from the KNED studios on Electric Avenue in McAlester, Oklahoma, it's time for Running with the Herd, a weekly McAlester Athletics coaches show. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A of McAlester, Reagan Auto, and What About Bob's Restaurant.
Yes, welcome back to the KNED studios here on Electric Avenue. This is the voice of the Buffaloes, Brandon Green. Once again, alongside head coach of McAlester Volleyball, Chris Burns. Long time no see.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, as we have, again, Running with the Herd. It is a weekly McAlester Athletics coaches show where we talk to all the coaches from McAlester Athletics. This show is brought to you by Chick-fil-A McAlester, Reagan Auto, and What About Bob's Restaurant. As we've already spoken with McAlester Volleyball once. This is episode 8 officially. I did look it up. And we are going to be speaking with them again as we're getting closer towards the postseason. So, first off, Coach, how are you doing?
I'm not quite sure yet. We're exhausted and hanging in there, but it's been a great ride so far, and ready for the regionals to start.
I mean, 33 matches in 2 months, not even 2 months, is absurd. You guys are busy.
I definitely stacked it up to hopefully get as many matches as possible, and I think I hit that goal.
I think you did. And Coach, 15 and 18 right now. The latest rankings with new ones going to be released, I believe, today. Show your team in the top 15.
Right.
15 actually right now. You have played a behemoth of a schedule. When we spoke with you all the way back on August 5th, you mentioned how excited you were for the season. How would you say it's gone now getting towards the end of the regular season?
I'm super excited about the way it's turned out. I mean, I've been talking to some of my assistants and some friends, and we've almost been there with every single one of the teams. We've started out the year up at the big win over Wagner, beat Sepulpa at their tournament, went up to the Lincoln Christian tournament, had 3 of the 4 state semifinalists from last year in 5A, a state team from 6A there, a state team from 4A there, and played really well and showed some real grit up there and learned some stuff, and then got 3rd at Sepulpa for the first time in I don't know how many years, and played some really great teams, really close, lost to the 4 team, I think, in Shawnee, had some match points,
Mm-hmm.
had some match points against Glenpool. I mean, we've been right there. Like, these girls are I hope we can hang on for another week or two, just because 33 matches so fast, just physically.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're healing up and we're getting more confidence and right about the perfect time.
It seems like you're getting a little bit of a slowdown before the postseason, too, because I believe only 2 more matches left. You got Tishomingo tonight.
Correct.
And you have Glenpool on Monday.
Last home game for our seniors is Monday the 7th.
Okay.
4, 5, 6 again. We're starting with the undercards at 4, and then big match for our girls playing Glenpool. It's a very talented Glenpool team that we've pushed really hard 3 times this year already. That we love as much support as we can on that one, and it should be a fantastic match to watch.
Right. And your seniors spoke about how excited they were to play Glenpool back on August 5th, and they said you played them close this last time, have a chance to be able to beat them next Monday going into the postseason, a big time win that would be for y'all. We are going to be there streaming it as well, because we really want to be able to get you guys the best coverage that we can. But also we want everyone to be inside the MAC, though, and then you can just go back and watch the footage after. It's
enjoy
always
the
win.
Yeah, enjoy the win on the way home.
Yes, exactly. So let's say it right now. Let's challenge McAlester and their community next Monday. Let's pack the MAC, support McAlester Volleyball as they have a big one against Glenpool that the girls really, really want. So let's do that next Monday. So it seems like you guys have also had some really big wins, and even like you mentioned, kind of close. One of the ones that we covered, Muskogee, you guys were just right on the cusp of that win. I can even see you grimacing a little bit. You're like, man, we should have had that one.
Again, we've had a couple like that, but I said the Coweta game, the Muskogee game, we've been right there. But I think these girls have really started to kind of trust each other, but they're coming together at the right time and figuring out how to play, how to win. So the Edison game on Tuesday was a big gut test for us.
Right,
So
11th ranked Edison there.
Yeah, they played as well, and we had almost every answer for them, and came out with a big win for us on, I said 11 ranked Edison, and they were 18 and 11, some really great record before they came in here, and we ruined it for 2 years in a row for them.
That's great. I love that. And I had to work late on that was that Tuesday, right? I had to work late on that Tuesday, and I was watching the fifth set on the stream, and I'm pumping my fist. I'm like, let's go! It was a dominant fifth set for you guys. So this is the second year in a row now that you had the MacTown Throwdown. How did it go this year?
We ended up fourth.
Okay.
Yeah, fourth. So we brought down Muskogee, Tuttle. North Rock Creek is a really great 4A team. I think Tuttle's inside the top 12 in 4A this year. And then Rejoice Christian came down, and we split with 2 or 3 of them, had 24, 26 matches with Muskogee. You know, we were right there.
Right.
And it ended up being a 3-way tie for first. Is
Oh,
actually
crazy.
what happened. So we ended up fourth, but I mean,
Right.
it was a really, really tough tournament, and we played great, and just again we take one more step, and we're gonna be an amazing, dangerous team here in 2 weeks.
I mean, even though you didn't win the MacTown Throwdown, it's also you got to feel really good that you're now running a tournament that is bringing in such great competition, and it's going to get a lot of publicity for better teams. And as the future goes on, it's got to help you with your program as well.
Oh, absolutely, and this is a big shout out to the area, because we had, I said, Tuttle, North Rock Creek is up by Shawnee. We had Rejoice up in Tulsa. Tishomingo came over. Capitol Hill came down, and every single one of them before they left wanted to come back, because
That's awesome.
the McAlester area is so great to them, and they before they left said, we're coming back next year, right? Absolutely. If you want to drive 2.5 hours to come play volleyball with us, then by all means. And that's a huge credit in just the area and the hospitality we've got for anybody coming into town.
Absolutely. And for those that may not be all that tuned in McAlester Athletics, but are just listening to this today on KNED, that does a lot for the business in McAlester as well. So that is going to, I know McAlester residents are just loving hearing that. And people want to come back into their town.
We also ran our first JV throwdown this year.
I did see that, yeah.
That was awesome. We ended up third-ish. We had a couple teams drop out, so it got a little bit funky on how to run it.
Right.
But again, we had every one of those teams wanted to come back next year because the town treated them so well, and they just love the area. So
That's awesome. So how's the playoff picture shaping up now as we get to the last 2 weeks of the regular season?
depends on how next week's ranking is. So we're 15, so we're going in as a 2. Personally, I'd rather be 14.
Yeah.
Or like 20, but like I said, we're going to go wherever we got to go, and hopefully put a great match out on that Monday night. But so we're in a good spot. We haven't been in outside of 2-3 years ago. They went in as a 2, but other than that, we haven't been a 2 in 10-15 years, except that one time. So we're looking great.
Really good chance
and
there.
Just who knows what happens when you get to underneath the lights at a regional tournament.
Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why these last 2 games of the regular season are kind of a big deal, because they're your last ways to be able to prove to the rankings, people that make their rankings, they try to jump up a little bit higher.
This Friday is when the final regional assignment rankings open.
Oh, so you don't even get to have the Glenpool if you did beat them.
The great scheduling on his part. But for us, that's a huge moral. If we can get that one, we're gonna be on a huge high and go in playing some great ball against a great team.
Right.
What else do you want to do when it really matters?
Exactly. So other than winning, obviously, what do you want to see most from your team for the rest of the way?
I just want to see them keep fighting together. They've come so far, kind of figuring out their roles and accepting their roles, and even if they're not playing. Excuse me. Everybody on that bench is being awesome, helping out, keeping them up and positive. And Jalen Moscato came with me last time, and watching her grow from last year to the leader she's becoming this year, and said everybody's open to trying anything we need to put us in the best position possible to win. And some of the ideas they've come up with.
She's been a fantastic
awesome
player this year.
She's absolutely lit it up this year. Mm-hmm. So I mean, and we could go down the list of everybody we've got and what they've brought to the floor for us. So we couldn't have done any of just one more. We couldn't have done any without Ellie Bass stepping up and putting the load of setting on her, on exclusively her this year.
Right.
And there's a lot of balls that would hit the floor with just about any other setter.
See, that's the fun fact. Chase McNutt is not even saying Jalen and Ellie's name anymore. He just has a soundboard that he just presses the buttons because they do so much for your team there. No, he does a great job, and you guys have done a great job this year. We're really proud of McAlester Volleyball this year, and we're excited to see how the rest of the season shapes up and going into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're going to have a big support system wherever you guys end up going in the postseason, so we'll be keeping up with y'all. So we are going to take one break, and we are going to go speak once again with head coach Chris Burns, a little bit more of a get-to-know-you questions. You know, I don't know if there's anybody else in McAlester Athletics that we're going to speak to more over the course of the school year, because we're also going to be getting you in tennis, too.
That's right.
So it's going to be pretty exciting to be able to get to know all about Chris Burns over the next 9 months. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, again, the more you know with Chris Burns on KNED.
Looking for a trustworthy automotive shop? Come see our technicians at Reagan Auto. Our trusted technicians work hard to get your vehicle needs taken care of in a timely manner. Here at Reagan Auto, we provide oil changes, tires, alignments, along with transmissions and engines. Stop by and see us at Reagan Auto at 306 East Wyandotte in McAlester to get a quote, or simply call 918-715-3236. That's 918-715-3236. Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Running with the Herd. When it's time to feed your herd, bring them to Chick-fil-A McAlester, voted McAllister's #1 fast food restaurant for the second straight year. Whether you are dining in, coming through the drive-thru, door dashing, or letting us cater your special event, we are ready to serve you. It is always our pleasure. Chick-fil-A McAlester. Go Buffs!
What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.
8:42 in the morning on your Monday, September 30th. This is what, the final day of the month of September? We have only 30 days in September. Yeah, that calendar right behind you. Yes, so this is the final day of the month of September. Spooky season officially commences tomorrow, although we already have our Halloween decorations up at our house in the Green household. This is Brandon Green, your voice of the Buffaloes, bringing you Running with the Herd, episode 8, featuring the return of Chris Burns for McAlester Volleyball as we get closer towards the postseason. We already spoke about how the season has gone, the end of the regular season, and as we approach the postseason earlier in the broadcast. So if you want to catch that, you can always go to our YouTube channel. That is McAlester Radio. Just type it into your search bar. You'll be able to find our channel. You can watch it later on. Or we're going to have this episode also on our website, McAllisterRadio.com, underneath the sports tab. Or you can go to the Buff Sports Radio podcast on Spotify and find that later on today as well if you're just finding yourself commuting somewhere. Anyway, we're now going to be having our final break of this show. We don't have volleyball players with us today, but we get to learn a little bit more about head coach Chris Burns. So, I don't think we asked this one the first time around, and I'm surprised we didn't. What are some hobbies that Coach Burns has?
Well, I mean, clearly playing some tennis. I like to ride my bike when I can. I don't have very much time to get into the gym right now, but I like to get into the gym and pick some stuff up and put it back down.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I don't do that. I go home, I let a 2-year-old toddler crawl all over me.
Well, you pick her up and put them down. Yeah, right?
You say that. So she's learning how to count a little bit. So what I did was the other day, I bench pressed her.
Hey.
And so I would go 1, 2, and she'd be counting with me. So that was pretty cool.
Was she getting off and missing your reps? And...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. She'll get off, and then she'll be like, again. And I'm like, you're 30.
Over. That
You're
didn't
30. You're 30 pounds. I can't push you up anymore. I don't think she's 30 pounds, but she might be pretty close. Tell us about your support system back at home. Your family. This is your chance to brag on them a little bit here.
Oh, I mean, it's my assistant coach junior high coach is also my mom, and like I said, every one of the games. I'm going to say she has to be at every one of the games.
Yeah.
She's also the junior high coach. But no, she always goes to anything we do and anything that growing up, my sister, my brother, and
I was about to mention your sister.
Anything we do, she'd she'd be there watching and cheering on, and kind of got to work with her on 2 sports this time, and
Yeah.
keeping her busy way more than I think she wants to sometimes.
Right.
Between the two, but because like you said, I schedule way too many things and get as many matches and games as we possibly can, because
Right.
why not, right?
I know you talked about your sister a little bit in the last show that we had, so I wanted to see if you wanted to brag on them a little bit there. Who are your favorite teams that you root for outside the Buffs? We're talking professional and collegiate teams.
Matt, usually don't watch too many sports besides just the high school kids. Just
You're too busy
I'm
scheduling.
I'm too busy trying to find things to
Right.
do. But I mean, growing up, watching baseball used to be the Cardinals. Anytime
Okay.
I get to watch them, or I've been to a couple games of theirs.
I'd love to go to St. Louis to catch one of those games.
Before Bush #2 went down, I went and watched them play the Padres when I was in 8th grade. Date that one a little bit, but that was one of my special 8th grade trips with my dad. It was a blast to go up there and see that one. And instead of football, if I'm going to watch it, usually any one of the Denver Broncos games.
Okay.
And then it's not going to happen anymore because OU OSU aren't in the Big 12 together. But so I mean, anything from Oklahoma, I'm gonna cheer them on. But between the two, I'm definitely going to go with OSU if they're playing. But
Okay. We still get basketball though. I think we still play in December.
They're probably still going to be on the tennis schedule, and definitely cheering on the Cowgirls again on the tennis side, because
Right.
they're almost had that national champion.
I know.
Almost had the double national championship last year.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Man. But no, it looks like it's going to be a pretty solid season outside of football. I'm an OU fan, but football, we still have our doubts for both of our teams.
It's interesting, yeah.
It's interesting, but the other sports, it looks like it's shaping up to be possibly a pretty good season.
Oh, yeah.
So, looks like it's, and especially for the Pokes as well, and the new restructured Big 12, it looks like it's pretty fun.
Well, we get to see how they're going to play the new teams, and just what does it look like with everybody else that.
Right. you got well, we've already had like USC traveling to Michigan, so
they get to go to
that's not
Miami,
Big 12,
and,
but still.
yeah, that's some of the massive travel that college is going to now is mind blowing.
And they do it multiple times, like especially basketball. I'm curious to see how many miles they're going to put on some of these planes. Going to our next question here, what is your favorite TV show? If you have time to watch TV.
The one that I would go to more often to watch would be Psych.
Psych.
Yeah,
that's an interesting show.
Again,
I've heard of it.
I'm throwing out these old references for you.
That's fine, but break it down for the people that don't know about Psych. They're maybe getting into wanting to watch Psych.
So Sean Spencer's dad was a detective.
Okay.
And he trained him to be very observant.
Okay.
And he was solving crimes from his couch by watching the news. And
okay.
the police ended up thinking he was the criminal. In order to not be put in jail for it, he claimed to be a psychic.
Really?
And, yeah, and it's a hilarious show. It's a comedy.
Okay.
And his best friend is a pharmaceutical salesman, and they kind of go and solve all these crimes, murders, thieves, everything together.
Right.
And he's using his power of deduction and observation and getting in and out of pickles, and just.
It's like your comfort show.
Oh,
it seems
yeah.
like
It's hilarious. Like it's hilarious. But
where can you watch it now?
I have it on DVD.
Oh, okay.
so
here's my deal. I love The Office. I don't want to go to. Is it on Peacock? I don't want to go to Peacock. My wife for Valentine's Day, like three or so years back, bought the whole 9 seasons on DVD. So I don't ever have to go to Peacock. I know Nate's like, you gotta watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine though. It's on.
I've seen a couple episodes of that. That's pretty good too.
It looks pretty good. But yeah, Psych seems like something interesting to get into.
It's great.
Okay, so I'm going to be looking out for Psych on DVD.
let me know next time I go to the used DVD store. I'll bring you back a
Thank
set.
you. I appreciate that. And here's our last question for you. Always a fun one. Would you rather always have damp socks or a pebble in your shoe? And that means you always have this, so you cannot remove the pebble.
Let's go with the damp socks.
Really?
I would rather just squish my way around. Like I said, I played enough summer tennis that I always had damp socks anyway.
I guess that makes sense.
So
yeah.
I'm used to that, and I don't want a pebble in my shoe. I'm gonna try and get that thing out.
Have you ever played in some crazy conditions when it comes to tennis? I would like to know if you had any crazy stories like that.
Well, Yes. I mean, you're standing on a gigantic pizza oven, more or less. I mean,
Pretty true.
So you're on this dark concrete that it adds probably 20 to 30 degrees anytime you're on the concrete. So
Right.
I mean, it had to have been 140, 150 on the court a couple times. I've played 45, 50 mile an hour crosswind. Like I turned sideways and hit the ball, tried to hit it over the fence, and it blew back in the middle of the court on the other guy's side. So, I mean, just between wind and heat, I've shoveled a couple courts to play. No, I don't advise that. Some single digits. The brand new balls were only bouncing 3 or 4 inches up off the ground.
That's crazy.
So I mean, I was out there any weather I could get in, but now I'm too old for that.
So you being a tennis guy, you can kind of break it down a little bit more too here. I know this is just a bonus question, but when you're comparing playing on the concrete to, say, was it Wimbledon where it's the grass?
Oh,
the
I
green
want to
grass?
play on grass so bad.
So what's the difference on the bounce and playing on the grass?
It's a
Could
whole
be
lot
cooler.
less. It's a lot less consistent of a bounce,
Okay.
and it's a lot shorter.
Okay.
So they pack that dirt in real hard, and it's a special grass that they've got and cut it down. I'm gonna go with a ½ inch. I don't know the height exactly, but
Right.
they pack it down so it will bounce,
Mhm.
but it doesn't, and it skids and it goes left when it hits a blade of grass wrong or goes. I mean, it's
And you want to play on that?
I do. I really like because I enjoy hitting the ball really hard and running
So
to
it's
the
going
net.
to help you out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. The ball, and I love indoor because the same way. The ball goes real fast, and you don't have to run around at the baseline and grind. Just hit it real hard and go forward. So
Remind me never to be on the other side of the net when Coach Burns is serving.
I've got people that have done it, and it's not that bad. I can put it away from you so that
Yeah.
it's not that dangerous for you.
Well, I would appreciate that because I'm going to need all the help I can get. Coach, thank you for joining us today. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up here?
Oh, just a gigantic thanks for all the sponsors and everybody who's helped these girls out over the feverish 2 months, 3 months. I've lost track of time. We've been going so hard.
Not
the
even
past
2 months yet.
Yeah, they've been working so hard and going so much over the past, I guess, almost 2 months that I mean, without the parents and all of our sponsors and Coach Singleton and you guys coming and doing the show for us at the MAC, and I mean, just a huge thank you to everybody who's made this season run as smoothly as it has. There's not really been any hiccups.
Right.
And then just a reminder that if anybody is free or wants to come watch something exciting, then Monday the 7th. Monday the 7th.
It's the
14th is
7th.
regionals. Monday the 7th. You come on 14th too. I'll let you know where we're at then. But the 7th at the MAC playing Glenpool is going to be a great night of some big volleyball, hopefully going our way.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you so much for
Hey,
joining us
thanks
again.
for having me again.
And we will see you on Monday.
All right.
All right. Again, that was Coach Burns with McAlester Volleyball as he's getting closer towards the postseason. We will be taking a 90-second break, go into our outro, and we'll get you back to your regularly scheduled programming. Again, this has been Running with the Herd, brought to you by Chick-fil-A, McAlester, Reagan Auto, and What About Bob's Restaurant.
Looking for a trustworthy automotive shop? Come see our technicians at Reagan Auto. Our trusted technicians work hard to get your vehicle needs taken care of in a timely manner. Here at Reagan Auto, we provide oil changes, tires, alignments, along with transmissions and engines. Stop by and see us at Reagan Auto at 306 East Wyandotte in McAlester to get a quote, or simply call 918-715-3236. That's 918-715-3236.
Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Running with the Herd. When it's time to feed your herd, bring them to Chick-fil-A McAlester, voted McAllister's #1 fast food restaurant for the 2nd straight year. Whether you are dining in, coming through the drive-thru, door dashing, or letting us cater your special event, we are ready to serve you. It is always our pleasure. Chick-fil-A McAlester. Go Buffs!
What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.